Imagine waking up to a world transformed by a profound absence. The streets are eerily quiet, the usual hustle and bustle replaced by an unsettling stillness. On November 12, 2025, every man on Earth has vanished. Clothes lie abandoned, cars are left running, and the world is suddenly devoid of half its population. This isn't about how or why it happened, but what happens next. The focus shifts from the mystery to the reality of living in a world without men. The immediate aftermath would be chaos. Planes falling, trains derailing, power grids failing. The infrastructure, heavily reliant on male-dominated professions, would face unprecedented challenges. The modern world, often operated by men, would grind to a halt. Construction sites would be deserted, factories would cease production, and control rooms would be eerily empty. Women would face the brutal test of survival. They would need to gather supplies, comfort each other, and navigate through a world that has suddenly become alien. The emotional toll would be staggering, a collective trauma etched into memory. Grief would be a constant companion as women mourn the loss of their fathers, brothers, husbands, and sons. Yet, human resilience would shine through. Women would band together, determined to rebuild and support each other through the darkest times. After grief, practical realities would set in. Women would gather to make plans, create lists, and discuss the next steps to ensure survival and stability. Fires need extinguishing, water systems repairing. Women would step into roles they may never have imagined, becoming firefighters, engineers, and repair workers. Society's survival would fall on women's shoulders. They would carry heavy loads, direct traffic, and stand tall against the backdrop of a changed world. This would forge a new social order. Women would come together, forming new communities and leadership structures, shaking hands in solidarity and purpose. The Great Disappearance would be a turning point in human history. The skyline would change. Historical monuments would stand as silent witnesses to a new era. Women wouldn't just rebuild, they'd invent a new world. They would brainstorm with blueprints, plant trees, and construct buildings, laying the foundation for a future shaped by their hands. The first days would focus on immediate needs: food, water, shelter. Women would distribute food, collect water, and set up tents and shelters to ensure everyone's basic needs are met. Local committees would manage resources and maintain order. Women would organize supplies, give instructions, and ensure that communities function smoothly. Nurses become chief medical officers, teachers become leaders. The roles of women would expand, with nurses taking charge of hospitals and teachers stepping up as community leaders. Engineers and mechanics, though fewer, become invaluable. Their skills would be crucial in repairing machinery, vehicles, and ensuring that essential services continue. This phase isn't about ideologies but practical problem solving. Women would focus on the practicalities of survival, working together to solve problems and keep society functioning. It's humanity's ultimate test of cooperation. Women would join hands, collaborate in offices, and huddle in teams, demonstrating the power of unity and cooperation. The foundation of our species has shifted. The world would be reshaped by the hands of women, walking forward together, looking towards a new horizon. Women would use past tools and knowledge to create a new world. They would harness technology, read books and manuals, and repurpose old tools to build a future that reflects their vision. The challenge is immense, but so is the potential for transformation. With determination and hope, women would face the sunrise of a new era, ready to transform the world. After survival, a new dawn breaks over the world. The silence of the city streets is not just the absence of noise, but the beginning of something entirely different. In the wake of unimaginable loss, the task of building a new society begins, one shaped by those who remain, and by the lessons of the past. Across neighborhoods and towns, women come together, clearing debris and organizing what's left. They set up shelters, distribute food, and create new routines, forging bonds of trust and mutual support. The old power structures, boardrooms, parliaments, and podiums stand empty, their authority vanished with the men who once led them. The world's hierarchies are suddenly erased, leaving a blank slate. In this vacuum, women gather to question the very nature of leadership and governance. What roles are truly necessary? What values should guide the future? New governments begin to form, not as distant, faceless institutions, but as small, localized councils rooted in the needs of their communities. Decision-making becomes more personal, more accountable. Leadership shifts away from hierarchy, prioritizing consensus and collaboration. Diverse voices are welcomed, and the process of governing becomes a shared responsibility. The global economy, once obsessed with endless growth, now pivots towards sustainability. Communities invest in green energy, local agriculture, and systems that nurture both people and the planet. Success is redefined, not by GDP or profit margins, but by wellness, happiness, and the health of the environment. Well-being becomes the new measure of prosperity. Of course, conflicts still arise, but the nature of these disputes and the ways they are resolved begin to change. Dialogue, mediation, and restorative justice take center stage. Without the baggage of patriarchy, a new political culture emerges, one that values empathy, transparency, and collective wisdom. The shared trauma of the Great Disappearance becomes a source of unity. Women find strength in solidarity, supporting one another through grief and uncertainty. New institutions are built to manage conflict without violence, focusing on healing and restoration rather than punishment. The greatest challenge is to create a society that thrives on cooperation, where everyone's contribution is valued and no one is left behind. In this new world, the opportunity is not just to rebuild, but to redefine what it means to govern, to prosper, and to live together in harmony. The very idea of family undergoes a radical transformation, shifting away from the traditional models that have defined society for generations. No longer is family limited to blood ties or the nuclear structure of parents and children. Instead, a new vision of kinship emerges, one that is fluid, inclusive, and deeply rooted in shared experience and mutual support. The nuclear family model, once the cornerstone of social organization, gradually becomes obsolete. In its place, we see the rise of extended chosen families, networks of women and children who come together not out of obligation, but out of genuine connection and shared purpose. Women form new communal family units, where daily life is shared and responsibilities are distributed. Meals are prepared together, stories are exchanged, and every member contributes to the well-being of the group. Kin groups centered around female relationships emerge, spanning generations and backgrounds. These bonds are strengthened by shared rituals, celebrations, and the collective wisdom of women supporting one another. Child-rearing becomes a communal task, with children growing up surrounded by a network of caring adults. Every woman becomes a mentor, a guide, and a source of love and security for the next generation. Homes and cities evolve to reflect this new reality, designed with communal living in mind. Shared spaces encourage interaction, cooperation, and a sense of belonging that extends beyond the walls of any single household. The emotional landscape shifts, focusing on the depth and richness of female bonds. Women become each other's confidants, healers, and sources of strength, creating a tapestry of support that weaves through every aspect of life. New stories and songs arise, celebrating the beauty of female friendships and the many forms of love that flourish in this new world. Laughter, music, and shared memories become the foundation of culture. The language of love and family evolves with new words and expressions capturing the nuances of these relationships. Children learn to value empathy, cooperation, and the power of community from an early age. The absence of men reshapes art, music, and literature, inspiring new forms of creative expression. Stories center on the complexities, joys, and challenges of female experience, giving voice to perspectives once overlooked. The focus is on the intricate dynamics of female relationships, their resilience, their tenderness, and their ability to adapt and thrive in the face of change. The community itself becomes the central support system, with women organizing events, sharing resources, and ensuring that no one is left behind. This new family structure fosters interconnectedness, encouraging collaboration, and a sense of shared destiny. Every individual is valued, and every contribution matters. Society adapts to a world where every child belongs to the community, and every woman finds her place within a supportive, ever-evolving network of kinship and care. The world of work is reshaped by necessity. Gendered professions dissolve, women learn new skills. A global reskilling effort emerges. Workplace culture shifts to collaboration and consensus. Success is measured by team achievement. Career paths become flexible and integrated with life. The caring economy rises in importance. Essential workers in nurturing roles gain recognition. The economic system values sustainability and well-being. Work and life blend, accommodating community needs. The new order redefines valuable work. A just and sustainable economy emerges. Education is redesigned for a single-sex world. History is rewritten to highlight women's contributions. Science and math education become critical. Practical application and collaboration are emphasized. Schools teach cooperation, empathy, and conflict resolution. Higher education focuses on urgent global problems. Universities become centers of research and development. The humanities help society understand itself. Philosophers and sociologists explore new social structures. Artists and writers create new myths and stories. Education equips young women to contribute to society. The system adapts to a world of female experiences. The future of humanity lies in science. Artificial reproduction becomes crucial. Parthenogenesis offers a solution. The first successful birth is a historic event. Ethical questions arise about reproduction. Councils create guidelines for genetic diversity. Parenthood is redefined as a communal responsibility. Technology and society evolve together for survival. Culture evolves to reflect new realities. Fashion prioritizes comfort and self-expression. Sports focus on skill, teamwork, and personal achievement. Art, music, and literature tell new stories. Daily life develops unique rituals and rhythms. Public festivals and gatherings become common. The pace of life slows, emphasizing connection. The cultural landscape mirrors female experiences. Community spirit and camaraderie are celebrated. A world built on endurance, not urgency, emerges. Challenges arise in this new world. Diversity in thought and culture must be protected. Institutions encourage critical thinking and debate. The psychological legacy of the Great Disappearance lingers. Mental health support becomes essential. Conflict resolution focuses on mediation and justice. Society manages disputes constructively. The goal is to handle conflict without violence. The challenge is to remain dynamic and open to change. A society that adapts thrives. The long-term future of this society is speculative. Exploration might be driven by curiosity, not conquest. Sustainability becomes a core value. Humanity sees itself as Earth's custodians. A new golden age of ecological balance emerges. Scientific reproduction guides human evolution. Ethical debates shape the future. The power to define humanity is profound. This thought experiment reflects on our world. Social structures are not fixed, they can change. The future of humanity is unwritten. We have the power to shape it.